Welcome.
Welcome, week number 10.
10 double digits.
Double digits.
And we're in Texas. Double digits. Everything's bigger in Texas,
Yeah,
right?
I was just gonna say that.
Jinx.
Everything is bigger in Texas.
So, week 10, been a whirlwind.
Woo! Take a deep breath. All
Okay,
right,
so week 10.
here we go.
What happened in week 10? We were in
Louisiana.
Louisiana, which all of a sudden allergies went haywire.
Isn't it crazy how you just know, like, it's like a flip of a switch?
Literally. All of a sudden, this guy who has the worst allergies of anyone I've ever met was just off off his game. Diesel's acting up. I was even getting like puffy eyes. My one eye was swollen. I was like, oh my gosh, my eyes were itchy and red and like I'm like, oh man. And
Yeah.
I don't usually get allergies. So I think he gave them to me.
She keeps saying that, but you
Yeah.
can't give allergies. It's not like a cold. No, it's not like a cold where you're gonna say, I kiss you, so you get my allergies.
It's contagious.
What did we do in Louisiana?
So in Louisiana, from our last video, you would know that we stayed at your aunt's house.
Yep.
Which is actually so nice compared to an
It was.
RV park. And it was just nice to have her around. And she
Mhm.
cooked dinner for us one night, and we went for dinner one night, and then she arranged a whole get together with the big old fam jam.
Yeah.
So there was like what, 10
Yeah.
maybe people there?
2,
Okay,
4.
you don't need
Yeah.
exact.
Okay.
Yeah, so we went to a nice spot for dinner, which was great.
Yep.
We got to eat some oysters
I
and
did.
fish.
I did.
And I don't like any of that stuff, so I didn't eat any of it.
No.
Yeah, but that was really nice just to get to meet some of his family that I haven't met before, and
Yeah.
you haven't seen them in like 5 years or
Yeah.
so, and yeah, that was so nice. And then from Louisiana, the next day, actually, we went to
Houston.
Houston. We went to Houston. What did we do in Houston? We got there. What day did we get there? Thursday?
Thursday, yep. It was a
And
long
then
drive.
it was a long drive. I was feeling it. I was feeling it even before we left, like
Yeah.
because we did the retreat the one weekend, and the next weekend we flew to LA for the wedding, and then the next weekend we're driving or literally the next week we're driving to Houston, and I was just wiped. I still feel like I'm wiped. And so I was like, you know what? I just need a day off because I don't remember the last day I've had a full day off.
Yeah.
And I definitely haven't had a weekend off in a long time. And so we took the day off on Friday and we went to a spa and we got a nice couples massage.
Oh,
We went to a
yes.
rooftop pool in Houston,
Yeah.
and it was like they had a lazy river float, like the shape of the Texas state, which was kind of cool.
Yeah.
And then we did a service project, which was awesome,
fun.
on Saturday morning. Although like waking up on Saturday morning, my back was a mess, your allergies was a mess, and it was an early morning, and we
Yeah.
were both again so wiped. And so we did this service project with Wham Ministries. If you're in Houston, check them out. They need volunteers every other week. And they make these food boxes for people, the community around them. And man, there were so many vegetables in there. We got to fill the boxes and hand them out to cars as they kind of drove through the drive-through sort of thing. It was like driveway for fresh fruits and
Veggies.
And some meat and bread and
so good.
Yeah, it was really cool just to something that we both love to do is to volunteer and to give back, and so to be able to get to do that as we travel has that was really really nice. And and then went for lunch after with the people that came, which was awesome. Just got to have really intentional beautiful conversations. And then Sunday we drove to Austin, where we are now, and now it's Tuesday and I don't know where time has went. So yeah, we're in Austin. We're doing a dinner out tonight, which we're excited about. Got some good people coming to that. Excited to meet everyone.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been quite the week. I think we're just really exhausted, and we're realizing, like, because March is kind of one of those months that is just jam-packed and, like, going from place to place to place, but, like, obviously, when we created the schedule, we didn't realize, like, that allergy season would be at the same
Yeah.
time and, like, that,
Yeah.
it'd be so challenging, and so, yeah, we've had to kind of pivot a little bit. Tell them about that.
Yeah, I think it's you don't realize like you can make a schedule all you want, and whether it's going on a full US tour or for your employees or whatever, there's always change that happens as you step into it and you adjust. And so yeah, we're just realizing that we need to first and foremost make sure that our relationship with God is number one and good, and then it becomes us and our mental capacity. And I think when you start seeing um the exhaustion and where you're just like burnt out, it can go down a slippery slope if you don't catch it. And thankfully the Lord gives us discernment and just the communication that we both have to really recognize those things and then make adjustments. So yeah, we just sat down last night and said, okay, where do we really need to go, and where can we make some adjustments and pivot and give ourselves some time back. And so we were able to like cut off, I think, 15 hours
17
or
hours
17
of
hours of
driving.
driving, um just with now being here actually, and being able to plug in some different places and say, okay, here we are right now. This is where we're headed. And now let's make an adjustment.
Mhm.
And that's hard to do when you're first building it because you don't know, you're not in it yet.
Well, and I think
So
it's hard too, is because, like, people get so excited you're gonna come to their place, but
sure.
then it's like, is that realistic? And
Yeah.
we have to make sure it's like, at the end of the day, if we burn out, none of this happens. And so it's like, regardless of if we have an event, like, our goal is never just to have one-off events in every place we go to, but
Hmm.
it's to really, like, plant seeds and build communities, local communities everywhere. And we've seen it even in some of the places. Like, we've had someone come forward from Florida, or a couple people from Florida, and say,
Hmm.
"Hey, I want to host events." We just had someone that came to our service project on Saturday come forward and say, "Hey, this needs to be more of a thing. Like, how do we get this more of a thing?" And so, yeah, it's one of those things that, like, we would love to host events in every single place
Yeah.
we show up
Yeah.
to. But the reality of that is, like, we're only human beings and we're two people with only so much capacity, and we have to make sure we're taking care of ourselves. And one of the things that we actually recently did was hire a functional health coach,
Mm-hmm.
which um yeah, for me, it just has been that I haven't felt like myself in quite some time, and you've seen it,
Mm-hmm.
and we're like, okay, time to do something about this. And so I'm on a very strict eating plan, and have different things I need to take and do. And yeah, that's been really challenging. It started this week, and it just
Hmm.
feels like another thing added to our plate. And then I hired a business coach because the business is blown up right now. It's busy, but I don't know if I have the strategies and structures in place to really handle the growth that we're seeing. And I want to make sure that, again, I don't burn out and quit, or I don't burn out and end up, just being like, I can't do this anymore, and or just not growing to the capacity that I believe God is taking us. So, which feels like a lot as well, because it's just another
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, when you're talking, I thought about it. It's one thing to have the event. It's another thing to show up well for the people that are there. I think that's the big thing. Like, sure, you could do all this stuff and you're given 10% at each place you go to, but that's not our goal. We want to be 100% because people are signing up and showing up and taking time and saying yes and stepping out, and like you want to be your best self for that. And I think that takes, you know, you have to like look and be like, okay, well, what do we need to
Mm,
do to make sure that we have that energy to give the people the attention and the energy that they deserve for showing up to an event. So yeah, and I
yeah,
would say too, like, it's not that it's like this strict thing. I mean, it is, but it's really
it
getting
is.
to the root of like, it's
It
really
is,
getting to
but it's
the,
not a diet.
yeah, I don't want to make it sound like it when
It's
you
not a
said that.
diet.
It's no,
It's getting to the root of, like,
it's,
it's like when Daniel in the Bible, like, he wouldn't eat the king's feast. He'd only eat, like, fresh fruits and vegetables and like wanted to make sure he was strong. And everyone said, like, that's not going to make you strong. You need to eat the king's feast to be strong. And
Mhm.
he was like, no, watch and like just test me on this and like watch how this works. And he ended up being like stronger at the end than the people that partake in the king's feast. And I think of it like that, where we're
Yes.
really getting to the root by eating very clean and eating you know I think I've realized and recognized it so much more moving to the States and the US. Like, the food quality here compared to anywhere else is crap. Like, the amount of processed foods that we eat, the amount of like fast food we eat, the amount of fried food that we eat, like, it is everywhere. The amount of alcohol we consume, the advertisements of alcohol, like, there's so much that, like, I've lived here for 2 years and my body is feeling the effects of it.
Mm.
And so it's like, I don't want to keep living like this. It's crazy, like, coming from Canada, where obviously our healthcare system is so different. And we had this conversation with your cousins, like,
Yeah.
the healthcare system is so different here, and it's just a big business. So if you're running a business, what do you want? You want customers. So your customer, how are you going to get customers? By feeding them crap and making their body not function properly, that now they have to go and see doctors after doctors after doctors to be able to like get all these meds. And like I heard a stat that like it was a ridiculous number amount of people are on like pills, are on like pharma pills. And like, to me, I'm just like, that's crazy. And in Canada, it's not this bad. It is
Mm.
not. And so I think you recognize it so much more when you come to a place and you're not used to yeah, seeing
Mhm.
this. It's drastically different. The obesity rate is insane. And I've even felt the effects of just moving here for 2 years. Like, and I'm like, no, 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 I don't want this to be my reality. I want to make sure that I am living healthy. And again, it's not just for the outwardly appearance, but it's like, how am I fueling my body and making sure I'm healthy and able to, like, my body is a vessel used for God's glory.
Mhm.
Am I not taking care of it, or am I going to take care of it? Like, simple as that. And so if it's a matter of getting to the root of things, and like, I hate the word diet. I'd never liked that word. It's dumb. Like, because it's not long lasting. I want to create a lifestyle. I want to make sure that my body's getting the nutrients that it needs in order
Yes.
to thrive. And does that not mean like not splurging once in a while? No, that doesn't mean that. It just means like 90% of the time I'm going to actually fuel my body with things that actually will fuel my body,
Mhm.
not hinder my body. And so yeah, so we hired a functional health doctor, and or is she a coach, doctor,
Yeah, she's
consultant, something?
yeah.
And so, I'm really, it's been hard. It's been hard to rewire and
Mhm.
reprogram your brain, especially when our lifestyle isn't just sitting in the RV or sitting at home. Our
Yeah.
lifestyle is very much on the road, going out, doing things like, it's like to not have, and like when you go out and do things and whatnot, it's like there's always food associated with
Mhm.
it. And so, like, not being able to do that, and obviously it's not forever, it's just for extended period of time, but
Mhm.
has definitely been testing and challenging, but that's just means it's gonna be good at the end of it.
Yeah. But the one thing that I think I love about you and just our relationship is we're always thriving to be better. We're always re-looking in the mirror and looking and okay, how can we be better? How can we continue to grow? And it could be very easy to be like, well, I'm here and this is the States and I'm just gonna live the way that they live here. But no, no, I'm not gonna live this way. I'm going to make a decision. It's gonna be hard, but we're in this together and that's what we're gonna do.
Yeah.
So I think it's important to yeah, I think about that as also like reading the word. Like spiritually, you need to take in God's word and renew your mind and take and like that's what you're meditating on. It's the same thing with the what you eat and like fueling yourself. You're
Mhm.
taking in and so you have energy, spiritual energy and physical energy. It's the same way, it's the same concept, it's just two different things. So
Yeah.
fueling yourself
Yeah,
with
so
good stuff.
yeah, we're on this journey,
Journey.
which feels really like a lot of moving pieces and a lot of things right now, but
It's all gonna be good.
just has to be done.
Yes.
So yeah, so that being said, we are programming our tour this month, and stay tuned what that looks like, because I don't know if we really even know yet.
No.
Yeah.
But I think God will show up too, and I know He will. Like He's put us in the places that we need to be, and I
Mhm.
know that if there's a place that we need to be, like I know that that will be there. So,
Yeah. Other than that, not much. To
what are we
next,
doing tonight?
I already said that.
You did?
We're going for dinner with a bunch of people. Did I not say that? I don't know. Anyways, we're hosting an event tonight in Austin. We have a dinner out with a bunch of people, so that'll be fun, and
Mm-hmm.
excited to just yeah, get to meet some amazing Christian singles.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, next up we go to Dallas next.
Mm-hmm.
That's on Thursday. We're actually gonna hit the rodeo tomorrow, but I don't want to give away all next week's like recap, you know?
Yeah.
But
So a
we're
little
gonna go to
teaser.
the a rodeo tomorrow
Mm-hmm.
night for just a little date night, because it's literally like across the street from our RV park, and we didn't know it was actually going on right now,
Yeah.
but we thought that'd be a very Texas thing to do. So we're gonna do it, and then on the road on Thursday to Dallas. So hope you guys enjoyed our recap. We'll see you
Yeah.
next week.
See you week 11 coming up.
Bye.
Bye.